Hi, I'm going to be talking about my eighth C of leadership, which is courage. Now, before I start talking about the reasons for choosing courage, let me give you the definition that I found online. So, according to dictionary.com, courage is the quality of the mind or the spirit that enables a person to um, face difficulty, danger, pain, etc., without fear, and it can also mean bravery. So, one of my main reasons why I think a leader needs to have courage is for themselves. And what I mean by this is, for example, let's say you're in a group setting filled with people that you don't know well yet, and someone makes a comment that you don't agree with or you find inappropriate. I think it's really common for people to maybe just nod along or um, not say anything back because they want to try to fit in. But someone who has courage will stand up for themselves and say why they thought it was offensive and why it's inappropriate. And this can be scary sometimes because saying that in front of people you don't know so well um, can lead to maybe exclusions from that group, or maybe they might start judging you. But either way, someone who has courage will stand up for themselves. Okay. Someone who has courage will also stand up for other people, which is another important part of being a leader. So, for example, let's say you're having another group discussion and someone starts verbally attacking another group member. And instead of just watching that all happen, someone who has courage will stand up for the other person and defend them, and they'll try to stop the verbal attacks. Um, and this can be scary because when you stand up for someone, the target can be shifted towards you. But either way, again, someone who has courage will stand up for others without uh, feeling the fear. My last point that I want to make is I think someone who has courage is brave enough to show their weaknesses. And I think usually when we hear the word leaders or courage, we think of someone who's really strong and someone who doesn't have any fears. But I don't think that's the case at all. And I think actually by admitting to those fears and showing them and sharing them amongst the group members, it can build a trust between the people. An example of this can be found in the Dead Poets Society, especially from Todd, because he was able to admit to Neil that he doesn't feel comfortable reading the poems aloud um, with the group, and he was also able to share how he felt about the gift he received from his parents with Neil. And he was also able to stand on that table at the end. Um, Even though he could have gotten into trouble, he had the courage to do it. And it influenced some of his classmates. And so I thought that was really powerful. Someone who didn't show this characteristics is Neil, because he could not admit to his weaknesses and he couldn't share them with his peers. So, for example, he didn't talk about how severe his relationship was with his father, and I think this might have led to his death because I feel like if he could have talked about it with other people, um, I think there would have been ways to avoid that situation. Also, his father definitely did not have courage because even after his son's death, he didn't admit that the reason for the son's death was his fault, and instead he was blaming other people. So, yes, he definitely did not have courage. And if I were to place courage in the social change model, I would put it underneath individual values, because compared to its other C's, the commitment, consciousness of self, and congruence, I think all three of those require courage at the bottom of it in order to sustain and practice those. For example, I think it takes courage to find your real passion and stick with it no matter what you hear from other people, and embrace it and share with other people. Yes, that's about it. Thank you for listening.